Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. God morning to y'all. Happy, blessed Tuesday. Happy, blessed Tuesday to those of you guys that are tuning in, whether you're watching this live or on the replay. I'm going to be real, y'all. Today has been a day where I think between prep and just God still having me get a lot of rest in, much needed rest in. Your girl is moving a little bit slow this morning. But as I was seeking God, because I was praying this morning and spending a little bit of time with God and really, hey, Visha, just trying to get myself together. And I'm going to be real. I had a moment today where I don't know if you guys have ever felt this, especially on a day where you feel like you're behind, where you almost start beating yourself up because you feel that you should be, you should have accomplished more by that time frame, or you should be further by now. But I had a moment. Good morning, Puppy Town. Capone, no. Good morning, y'all. I am doing good. I'm still trying to wake up. I did my cardio, everything else, y'all. This prep, I forgot just to what degree that it really drains your energy. I had planned to do a TikTok last night, and y'all, I sat down and I didn't wake up to 1 a.m. I did not wake up. I think I laid down, sat down, and maybe about 5 or 6 p.m. And it's just it was probably closer to 6. I ain't wake up till 1:30 this morning. I kid y'all not. And so, balance. But I had a moment this morning where, I was still kind of lagging behind a little bit, and it's like everything was behind schedule. And I found myself trying to rush, trying to, speed up the day or speed myself up to get back on what I perceived was a schedule, right? And in the middle of me doing that, I heard the Lord tell me, and I believe that this is what he wants me to talk about on this morning. But I heard him tell me, there is no rush. Yeah. And I knew that in that moment, what God was saying to me was there's no rush in, you don't have to rush to get things done. But I also understand that it correlates to the season that we are in, this comeback season, as we embrace what all is to transpire during this new season, as we get ready to end the year of 2022 and begin the year of 2023. I knew that what God was saying is, even in the new season, even in a comeback season, even in a season where he's restoring, even in a season where he's blessing, there is no rush. And I don't know who needs to hear this, but literally before I click live, I heard the Lord say, tell them I'm in no rush. Bo, stop. God told me, stop, Bo. He said, tell them I'm in no rush. Y'all got time for me to flow? Before I got onto this broadcast, I heard the Lord say, tell them I'm in no rush. It's so easy to get caught up in the busyness of our day-to-day routine that we get out of a habit of letting the Lord lead, letting the Holy Spirit lead our day. I'm going to say it again. Even in seasons, sometimes we get so busy with the hustle and bustle of whatever it is that we feel we have to do, that sometimes we just shut ourselves off from God intervening, from God slowing us down. But in this season, it is important for all of us to know that God is in no rush. And God broke it down to me like this. He said, when you think about what happens when a person rushes, right? Typically, when a person starts rushing, they are in a panic state. A panic state. I'm going to say it again. I want y'all to follow along and think about it. Whenever you have rushed, whether you rushing to get to a meeting, rushing to, go to work, rushing to, cook, whatever it is, what accompanies rushing is a state of panic, right? Especially if we're talking about work, because we don't want to be late to work. We don't want to be late to meetings. It just is what it is. But we find ourselves rushing, and what accompanies that rushing is panic. What accompanies panic is anxiety, irritability. Because I don't care what nobody say. When you in a rush to get somewhere, everything makes you irritable. Let's just say, for instance, you trying to, let's just say you're trying to get home after a long days of work, but you get stuck in the traffic jam and you're just like, you're almost wanting to rush to get home. If you get stuck in a traffic jam that is like bumper to bumper, I don't care what nobody says, you're going to be irritable. You're going to be irritable. You're going to be a little bit frustrated. But the thing about it is, God can't rush, and he doesn't panic because he knows how things play out. I'm going to say that again because that was how he broke it down to me. He said, when my children enter into a state where they're rushing, where they're panicking, it is because, come on, we have negated God out of the equation. We've negated him. We ain't thinking about his timing. And a lot of times we're trying to force it to happen. And we're trying to do, accomplish our own agenda. Point blank, period. But God doesn't panic. He can't panic because he knows how it plays out. And he has a specific timing for every single thing to happen. And so I'm going to tell y'all what God told me. He said to tell you that he's in no rush, so neither should you be. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again. God said he's not in a rush. If he's not panicking, then you shouldn't be either. There are some seasons where God has to teach us to slow down. There are even moments where we be going at God's pace and then we get a little bit overzealous. And sometimes God literally has to slow us down. But if you rush it in this season, you're going to miss it. I'm going to say it again. If you rush it in this season, you're going to miss it. And not only will you miss what God is doing because you're rushing, but you will find yourself in some self-created storms. You will find yourself in some self-created storms that God didn't even need you to go through. He didn't even want you to go through it. But because you rushed, because you didn't slow down, and here's the thing, there are always signs when we're moving too fast. There are always signs when we are rushing. Meaning when we are going ahead of God's timing, there are always signs. But a lot of times we ignore it because we're so focused on doing what we feel we need to do, getting to where we feel we want to go and doing it in our own timing. But what happens, some of the signs that present themselves, are anxiety arises. When you're going ahead of God's timing, you'll start to get a little bit anxious. You will literally start to feel uneasy. There won't be peace. There won't be any fruit of the Spirit. You will also feel uncertain. If you're going ahead of God's timing on something, you're going to feel like you don't know what to do. Point blank, period. Another thing that happens when we are rushing, when we're going ahead of God's timing, is, it's almost like God gets silent. I know some of y'all have experienced that. Where you can be in your devotion time and you talking to God about something and he just talking away. He just, listen, he's talking so much that it's almost hard to keep up. And then, it gets to a point where we push the button too much. And then it's like God goes from talking a whole lot and then he goes silent. And I think that this word is confirmation for some of y'all that stop rushing. Stop rushing. And, honestly, I think the reason why a lot of us rush is because of fear. Fear of not getting the blessing, fear of whatever it is. A lot of times, we rush because it's rooted in some type of fear. But in this season, God says to tell you, if he's not in the rush, then neither should you be. Point blank, period. I'm going to say it again. God says to tell you, if he's not in a rush, neither should you be. I'm telling y'all, I was moving so slow this morning. I did my workout this morning. I went maybe an hour later than what I normally go So I feel like I'm already set back. Had a good workout, came home, and it just felt like it felt like I had too much to do, and it felt like I was moving in slow motion. And I'm like, God, I got a whole lot of stuff to do. And I'm over here moving in slow motion. And God literally had to tell me, there's no rush to get this stuff done. There's no rush. And I believe that that's the same word that he wants me to give, the same word that he's speaking to some of y'all. There's no rush. And sometimes it's like in busy seasons, we do feel like we got to do everything all at the same time. But God doesn't operate. Bo, stop it. God doesn't operate that way. And so that's the word today. What's going on, Alyssa? Blessings to you. There's no rush. God isn't rushing, so neither should we be. So listen, man, if you can receive this, can you just simply tell God thank you? If you can receive it, can you just simply tell God thank you? To those of you guys that are just now tuning in, please watch this thing. Are you coming up here? Please watch this thing on the replay. And also, for those of y'all that are here, I do ask that you guys go ahead and that you guys do me a favor and click the like button. Bo, no, sit down. That you guys click the like button. God is so good. God is so good. And so today is one of those days where I actually had to slow down and go with God's pace. Tell the people good morning, Bo. Tell them good morning. Tell them good morning. And so that's it, y'all. I love y'all. I am rooting for you guys. At some point, we will be going live on TikTok. It may be 9:30. It may not. It just depends on how God flows. But that is it, y'all. To those of y'all that feel led to sow, you can sow. You can sow whether you're sowing via PayPal or the Cash App. Everything is in the description of every single video. If you want to purchase Trust God apparel, we got crew necks. We got t-shirts on the site. Everything is 30% off until the end of the year. Starting in January, we have something. We have, our comeback season gear coming in full swing. I'm excited about it. And so that is it, y'all. I love y'all. I'm rooting for you. And if you're sowing, I just ask that you just label this your Don't Rush seed. And so that is it, y'all. And so until next time, y'all, peace.